أنيكي جيل مين جيل ذا أنيكي جيل مين جيل ذا يوي هدين جيلاني جواريركم يريد جكدرنتا جلبتو سنانتا عشقا واجير قرئ جير بيدويتي جنال دا جنة الدور اسلا جالساني اي كيلي جري جرب اجري انا مجلسي لا تقدر انت جلبتو سنانتا عشقا واجير قرئ اجير بيدويتي جنالي دا
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العظيم. آية القرآن كاي دبل ما دام ضد الإسلام عناي قبل الإسلام أن عزمتي إن الإسبرانيجيا ونعكسنتها سفيو وحاي إبيتاليدي فم الكيدي إيس عباد إبيتاليدي دين الإسلام هو ودين الرحمة ودين حريصة ودين أما ابتكار عن عين إلهي القرآن يسير حكوي يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا وارتضوا هذا ضد ضد يا الله بني آدم ضد يا الله عيد يعني أنا كأمورنا يعني أسر كيف عيد وكيف عيد بالي وآدم يا الله أمورين مركز روحانيا كذلك نموري شعوبا دوينه يو قبائل قوس يعني كذلك نموري محاني كذلك ني إنا اسكفان ثاني كذا مدقين إنا أسلط دجالتان إنا كذا مدقين لتعارفوا إنا أقوستان أو أقوس يسمحوا تريا إنا إسحاري ذا ويان أو قفك رقم كذا عاد حريري قرابة هذا درس كذا عاد حريري ضد معارف كذا أما والد كذا معارف لها أما أدوك معارف الله أو اسم مجال أتكلم هذا أنت بين الحرير ذا مركب حويان شيخ عبدي شيخ يوسف شيخ عبدي شيخ الأولاد الشيخ عدنان شعاب عقلنا لهم بقى كاسة كتير حضرك وين مجال هم اللي هذا وين إرياس كبرت منه وأنا كنت بهجرة أبد سيد عنا وعن ماشي الهجرة والنمط أيه كنت كتير مركز سكة يا الله قاضي حفلة حويان حفلة قنابة الإسبرانيو معارف أي برنيسو صفية دب كذا صحيبة أي برنيسو ويان مركب تا أدي أنكسر دعوة دين الإسلام كمان مدي دن إن ضدك أما عدك سلام بدوها هذا عدنا هذا إلا كلا عرمانه والدين الرحمة النبي محمد عليه صلوات الله وسلامه عليه أي إلهك كما وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للعالمين نبي محمد الدوم كنا يفكو صدرنا بالي وعفكو صدرنا إن رحمة الله مرك الرسالة دي ورقد أيام ودنا دين تذكر الجارسينية وأنت إن كير أي أستأنبو كسر بلابطين وأنا بافتي مرك الرحم كم كان كله خرابات عن كله يوم خرابات هذا إنا حرنا بيحكي سهويا كتيمات أبا كتيمات أنا شرفنا وأسود وينا ويا برنامج وكذا ويا رما وكذا هذا غوف إسكاب السعودية خسبوا يا فرنسا والضرايب يوليها دبل صفية فليتفضل صلوا ويا كلها صفية
صفية يوسف عبدي هلولة عدان شعيب ما هذا اللي بوبال عاقل اللوم فقط يحكي That is my name and in front of me here I have my supervisor who trusted me and went with me all the way to Somalia in the year 2005 and we have been working there and we are still in Jama'at Mogadishu, the Mogadishu University and I would like to invite him to tell you about our work. A person like Michael is now retiring from his work, but he gave me the trust to take him to Somalia, where I come from. So I'm really proud of you, Michael, and I hope that this will help you. I mean, this will talk about what we are doing. And I'm really I'm out of words today.
Very rare. Very rare for Safia to be out of words.
ما حد ذكره هذا الكلام يحبه. ما حد ذكره مكان أو آمني أو بدن كي أنجي وين كان إلى لبدي يكون يشنتي بانجي إلى حد ولي مختش عم بيشتغل هنا وانين أو بدن كي ودني أو الاحترام وعندنا جامعة مختشو أنك شغلنا.
Well, thank you, Safia, for the welcome. Thank you for the introductory words. I was given a quick translation, and it was very good words. Very nice to hear about coming together to learn about one another, to learn about what we do, our cultures, and this is the way of peace. This is the way.
مو بهان تيدين ترجمان؟ بقولي يو هذانا كله كلام. Yeah.
Because what you said in your introduction is the way that people need to get together to know each other and to understand one another, and this is the way through speaking and meeting.
وحنا عندنا علينا أديك أدركيس وح هذا مارت دين عدين تأك هذا الشيء يعني دتك مارت دين حرير أي يشتغل أو مر ولبا أي مارت أي كل مان.
So I worked for 12 years for the Norwegian Nurses Organization.
لبيت توماس سنادور بقول شقينا إن محل كالكاليسوين كنوروي ومارت أوركل كالكاليسوين كنوروي Norwegian Nursing Association.
And then I retired from that work this year and started my own company, which is, you can see the picture on the wall, from Africa. And so this is what, so the presentation is based on what we did during 2006 to 2010 through Focus and through the Norwegian Nurses Organization. So those of you that have been in Norway sometime, you know that every autumn they have on the NRK, they have insamlingsaksjon. So the women's organization Focus was given the money that was taken in during this campaign in 2005, and we were granted some of that money for the project in Somalia.
بنا نكون وحكة هلنا وجامعة المجيد مقدشو وشقة مقدشو عم نشوف قبلي ومقعد the name of the name
Mother and Child Education Project.
أورو كان أنا حد جايني مشروع يا حد جايني مشروع أورو ماي مشروع يا حد جايني مقعد اسمها هويو يعرض بنا حنانيس هويو يعرض يعني وح برشلها.
Now I changed all of the slides to Norwegian because I thought we were going to be speaking Norwegian, but we can translate.
أول وحنا إسقى كنت لقينا بنوشة كله مركا ده. Okay now okay then we say.
No, but it's okay. I can speak in English. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's my mother tongue. I'm English by birth. So.
ما واحد عايش إنه أفنوشة كله.
A number of goals. The main one was to give health information to women.
أن مشروع دي مقدشو الجيلي خصوصا واحد هاد إن مارتي دمرك لو جاي وحبرشو.
But of course, the information we provided, FGM was one chapter in that book of information, but there was information on many other issues concerning women's health, and not only information to the women, but also to the men.
And هذا واحد هاد هذا برجينا إن هذا يقول معك لسيو وحبرشو لنا عافمات.
And to also work on changing the attitude and how people perceive the issue of FGM.
إن أو لما دتك اللي لخبوا سي إمارتي كتجان إن نافيت حبيت ترك دمر كسي إمارة وحكلي وبدلا.
And to also work for legislation in Somalia against FGM.
أو أدنى أمر من الشرع إن لقصو سعره كهرتجيد نافيت حبيت ترك صوبنا.
Now, I know in our discussions in Mogadishu and in Norway, people tend to say, but this tradition of FGM we've had it for hundreds of years and it's very difficult to change and it will take hundreds of years to change. And to that, I'd like to mention in 2 generations ago in China, the custom in China, this has nothing to do with FGM, but just to illustrate the point of changing something. The custom in China was that the women's feet, when they're very young, they're bound together like this.
And دخل في China حتى لذيك وقتي هذا دال سعودي ودخل أمارتي أو لو تلقى دمرك ولودي ده إن عرضه هذا أي في الصغار يبغوا في السبيل الصغار مركا يبغوا يريس على الجبل جري ولو تحجري لو ريد جري بوكس يبغوا حلونا أو قبلها سيدا سلوس يعني حلو دي عدا عادي سوي لا يقبل إلا الجبل أو الحلو.
And people the women began to complain, and the men supported the women, and in the course of 1 generation it was banished.
Yes, dumarkii baa waxay bilaabeen inay maarka hortagaan ragii baa maartay inayna ku caawiyeen marka adigu waxay qaadatay 1 generation oo lagu bedelay waa la joojiyay hadda waxaas ma jiraan.
In Africa there's a proverb or a saying, and it says that if you want to travel fast, travel alone. If you want to travel far, travel together.
Yeah. أنا كنا وحاولنا مهما وأفريقيا كتير وحاول حدي أدقو أجعش هاي إن مارتي دقسي أو ألو سعتي كليجا سكسعة لكن هذا ربطينا مال دير ربطينا قاتل ضد لسعة.
And so in this cooperation between Safia and myself, it's not a quick journey, it's a long journey.
فالكارية سفيا واحد من الشقة شقة هذا مارتي أنا كلا دقسي أنا دمانو ما وشقة وده أو process.
So what did we actually do for the project?
محان أنا كوكبني.
First of all, we were targeting school children and their teachers.
واحد أنا كوبلاوني سكول دي عيال أدي سكول كيوم معلمينتي.
We were targeting leaders of thought in the community, the Somali community in Mogadishu.
وحان مركا هذا لهذا النوع مارتي لا شقينا وحوي كوبي أو بنشوين كمارتي دتكي عتك كلها.
Both the academic leaders and the religious leaders.
كوبي وحصوب برتين يو كوبي مارتي دين عدينتا.
We carried out health activities for women, especially in the IDP camps.
waxaan aqoonyaal badan baan sameynay waxay ahayd meesha maanta qaxootiga waddankiisa qaxooti ku noqday IDP-yaasha waa dhaqaaqaan masheen meelahaasaan maanta ka shaqeynay marka halkaasaan bilawnay halkaasaan ku bilawnay.
We also looked at the issue of retraining of the circumcisers.
marka waxaan aragnay inaan kubii wax gudi jiray traditional birth attendants kubii maartay umulisooyin oo gabdhaha gudi jiray baa waxaan ku saarnay midyaasha baan ka qaadnay waxbarasho cusub baan siinay.
And we also arranged for stipends for some of the nursing students, the female nursing students, because we found out that if the family was suffering financially, the first one to be kept at home was the girl, the woman.
marka waxaan aragnay yani hadii isbedel aan rabno waxay noqotay yani in anaguna gabdhihii oo waxbarashada loo diiday inaan siino waxbarasho marka stipend baan mataqaan dadka scholarship aan dhiibnay oo gabdhaha maanta ay maxalka iskoolka iyo jaamacada ay wax ku bartaan scholarship-yaad baan siinay.
And we also
weli waan siinaa. Also we still continue giving the scholarship.
And we also started a no to FGM campaign.
marka waxaan bilawnay kampanya yani wax ka hortagid oo ay tahay and gudniinka naafinta xubinta taranka dumarka marna.
Where individuals and organizations were asked to sign a formal declaration where they declared that they would support a campaign against FGM.
waxaan marka la hadalnay oo aan la shaqeynay waxa ahayd ururyaal iyo maaragtay kuwa shuruuciyada ama dadkii maaragtay codka lahaa in iyagu si meel saxiix naga qaataan ay yiraahdaan anagu waxaan ka hortagaynaa naafinta xubinta taranka dumarka ama anagu waxaan ka shaqeyn doonaa ka hortagida naafinta xubinta taranka dumarka.
Now, of course, going into Somalia, and especially into Mogadishu in 2006, the issue of security comes up at once.
waxa weeye Soomaali markaan tagayno markaan u socono waxa uu muhiim ah yani security-ga.
Especially with this skin color.
waxa uu daran yani aniga iyo markaan nahay marka security.
But Safia and I, we met with the head of security for the Norwegian embassy. We spoke for 2 hours.
anagu waxaan u tagnay horta ambassador Norway.
He explained Mogadishu neighborhood by neighborhood by neighborhood. Go there, this is okay, here is okay, here you stay away from.
But also the most important thing was the Mogadishu University.
And then Mogadishu University, they contacted at this time the warlords, and they said, we're having guests coming from Norway, please don't do anything.
warlords يعني بتقان كوي عندي مركي لبوي وماشي لحريج warlords.
It was
2005
before the Islamic Council.
مركز يوصل لمدينة بدرين أو
And before Al-Shabaab and all of that.
الشباب هذا ما الشباب إسلاميست كمان أنتوا سوولي دولة.
And it worked nicely. There was no trouble. But they always said you can come for 5 days.
أنا وحي نو أولاد مركز صوغلا لكن شنبري كتب وين بحدان.
And so I asked them, eventually I asked, but why 5 days? And then they said, well, when you come, if someone wants to harm you, it takes them 2 days to find out you're here, 2 days to plan something, and on the 5th you're gone.
and dilo laba casho qaadanaysa marka maalintii shanaad baa baxnay wadanka laba casho.
But they took very good care of us, and they drove us around, these vehicles, the technicals.
waa u jeedaan technical waa u jeedaan markaan anigu
and not only information to the women but also to the men.
and haddana waxay ahayd hadda rangiina in haddana iyagu maartay la siiyo waxbarashada dhinaca caafimaadka.
And to also work on changing the attitude and how people perceive the issue of FGM.
haddana in oo dadka lala hadlo si ay maartay ay ka tagaan naafinta xubinta taranka dumarka si ay maartay wax kale ugu bedelaan.
And to also work for legislation in Somalia against FGM.
oo haddana aan rabno sharci in lagu soo saaro ka hortagida naafinta xubinta taranka Soomaaliya.
Now, I know in our discussions in Mogadishu and in Norway, people tend to say that this tradition of FGM is, we've had it for hundreds of years and it's very difficult to change and it will take hundreds of years to change.
marka adigu waxaan dhaqmo oo leedahay yani kan waa dhaqankeeni inaan ka tagi karin weeye waa wax intaas oo sanadood maaragtay aan isticmaali jirnay habkii aan ka bixi lahayn waa dhibaato.
And to that I'd like to mention in 2 generations ago in China, the custom in China, this has nothing to do with FGM, but just to illustrate the point of changing something. The custom in China was that the women's feet, when they were very young, they were bound together like this.
And dhaqanka China hadaa idinku ogtihiin hadaa la socotiidin waa dhaqan oo maaragtay oo lagu talagalay dumarka waa loo diiday in cagahooda ay fidsadaan iyagoo fidsadaan marka iyagoo yarariiska la jabi jiray oo lagu ridi jiray box iyadoo xanuun ah oo gabdhaha sidaas loo socodsiiyo yani waxa loo diiday cagaha caadi si weylaayo abuuray in la jabiyo oo la xiro.
And the women began to complain, and the men supported the women, and in the course of 1 generation it was banished.
Yes, dumarkii ba waxay bilaabeen inay maarad ka hortagaan ragii ba maartay iyaguna ku caawiyay marka adigu waxay qaadatay 1 generation oo lagu bedelay waa la joojiyay hadda waxaas ma jiraan.
In Africa there's a proverb or a saying, and it says that if you want to travel fast, travel alone. If you want to travel far, travel together.
Yeah. أنا كنا وحاولنا مهما وأفريقيا كتير وحاول حدي أدقو أجعشها إن المارتي دقسي أو ألو صعتي كلجا سكسعة لكن هذا ربطينا مال دير ربطينا قاتل ضد لصعة.
And so in this cooperation between Safia and myself, it's not a quick journey, it's a long journey.
فكذا سفيا واحد شقة شقة هذا مارتي أنا كلا دقسي أنا دمر ما وشقة وده أو process.
So what did we actually do for the project? First of all, we were targeting school children and their teachers. We were targeting leaders of thought in the community, the Somali community in Mogadishu. Both the academic leaders and the religious leaders. We carried out health activities for women, especially in the IDP camps. We also looked at the issue of retraining of the circumcisers.
Traditional birth attendance,
and we also arranged for stipends for some of the nursing students, the female nursing students, because we found out that if the family was suffering financially, the first one to be kept at home was the girl, the woman. waxay noqotay yani in anaguna gabdhihii oo waxbarashada loo diiday inaan siino waxbarasho marka stipend baan mataqaan dadka scholarship aan dhiibnay oo gabdhaha maartay ay maxaa iskoolka iyo jaamacada ay wax ku bartaan scholarship yaal baan siinay. And we also
we still continue giving the scholarship.
And we also started a no to FGM campaign.
marka waxaan bilawnay campaign yani wax ka hortagid oo ay tahay and gudniinka naafinta xubinta taranka dumarka marabna.
Where individuals and organizations were asked to sign a formal declaration where they declared that they would support a campaign against FGM.
waxaan marka la hadalnay oo aan la shaqeynay wax ahayd ururiyad iyo maaragtay kuwa المشروعية أما تحكي ما تحط لها إن يوسي مال صحيح ما قاطع أي راهان أنا كو وحن كهرتين من عفين تحبين تترك مركا أما أنا كوحان كشقين دونا كهور تجدي لا فيدا حبيت ترانك دومك.
Now, of course, going into Somalia, and especially into Mogadishu in 2006, the issue of security comes up at once.
لا وحاول سومالي ما كان تجي ما كان وحاول مهم يعني كده
Especially with this skin color.
وحاول در يعني أنا يو عني عارف ما كان security.
But Safia and I, we met with the head of security for the Norwegian embassy. We spoke for 2 hours.
أنا وحاول كنت ambassador ما Norway.
He explained Mogadishu neighborhood by neighborhood by neighborhood. Go there, this is okay, here is okay, here you stay away from. But
also the most important thing was the Mogadishu University.
And then Mogadishu University, they contacted at this time the warlords, and they said we're having guests coming from Norway, please don't do anything.
warlords يعني بتقال كوي عندي مركي لبوي وماشي لحد warlords.
It was
2005.
Before the Islamic Council.
مركز يوصل لبريلا بدلين.
And before Al-Shabaab and all of that.
الشباب هذا ما الشباب إسلاميست كمان. أنتوا سوولي دولة.
And it worked nicely. There was no trouble. But they always said you can come for 5 days.
أنا وحي نو أقول هذا مركز صوغلا لكن شن بركتي وين بحدان.
And so I asked them, eventually I asked, but why 5 days? And then they said, well, when you come, if someone wants to harm you, it takes them 2 days to find out you're here, 2 days to plan something, and on the 5th you're gone.
and dilo laba casho qaadanaysa marka maalintii shanaad baa baxnay wadanka laba casho.
But they took very good care of us and they drove us around, these vehicles, the technicals.
Ma wawjeedaan technical wawjeedaan marka anigu dad oo sita manaadiir oo Hussein waxa security-gayga ma an Michael who has laba oo mar wali marka socon sidaas aan.
But they didn't have to use them, so it was fine. It was more you should have it to show you have it, but you just don't use it.
Yeah. وحيد واو هسه هوكاس يدكاسنا إلى أنا وين يدور استعمالي.
So the main part of the project collaboration, the formal part, was to work together with Mogadishu University. So we had meetings with the leaders of the university, the president of the board of trustees, with the formal signing of the cooperation agreement. And then we began the work. An office was established at the university, and we had 2 project officers. So of course one natural target group was the nursing students. And here you have Safia in action with the students. She's a very good debater. Again, more schooling, reaching out to both the students and the students' teachers at the different levels of the age levels. And even going down in the age groups, not speaking with the little kids, but with the teachers to give them information. And the schools were very, they welcomed us and we were allowed to speak freely with the teachers.
Scholar the art, they know فرحين وين صوروا وين لحظنا.
We also spoke with the university students. We had at least one gathering of 200 or 300 students. And I said a few words and Safia said most of it. And we also, as one of the activities we did was to talk with the religious leaders in Mogadishu and to talk with the Department of Sharia Law at the university. Because what we wanted was an official statement from the religious leaders about the issue of FGM. Whether FGM was something that was a part of Islam or something that was in existence before even Islam existed and was brought into Islam. And in their statement, they supported the campaign against FGM. And that opened up, with the Department of Sharia Law doing that opened up for local religious leaders to go on radio programs, to speak out in newspapers against FGM. And you know, of course, the situation in Mogadishu is terrible. So we did also work with going out to the IDP camps. Mogadishu University, you see the architects' plans for the university. They have big plans for the university in Mogadishu, and they're working too towards that.
And now, Michael, the plan has reached all these. So they are starting. That's one of the main. So that's حاجة اللي بتساعد على العالم. And that is.
Of course, I was curious as it was a bit. We had to be in the truck. I said, well, if you put me out on the sidewalk, how long would I last? And they said 5 to 10 minutes.
And he trusted us, and he came out of the car, and he started there.
But when the Islamic Council took over, then things got a lot better.
كوبي إسلاميست باتاي كوبي قاتل ودكا ها قاتل بس ها.
And you know the story. They got chased out, and then it was nothing, and then Al-Shabaab came in, and it's just a mess now. But now it's getting better again, finally.
حكمين مركي قاتل وحوالات قاتل وحيد عين مقدشوا حتى دعوات وتهدي لكن مركز أوف يعني. The Islamists did not like us to come in the flight together. That was the bad time. وحال مدرنا المكان السعودي مايكل مركبة وحال ما يحقق بتيس. So they separated us very quickly.
And so, of course, the Mogadishu University was responsible for our security. So the last 2 visits we couldn't do it. We did one in Hargeisa. And then we did 2 or 3 in Nairobi.
Marke Humate.
What was it in Uganda?
Yeah, and Nairobi.
Yeah.
Marke Humate بس وحينو قصب وحي هذا إن مقالوين ككلي عن كلنا يومين مقدشة كصباحان ماشي أنا بجوغل نوي مادان وحكم إذا هرجيسا عن كل مسمينه يو كينيا this was Kenya Nairobi,
Nairobi.
New Stanley Hotel. And also you had the Uganda. Mela sakukun mijina iyagu intay kasoo baxaan oo barnaamij haddii aad mashruuc sidid waa inaad report qortid waa in lacagta la isaabiyo waxaniba waa inaan kulanaa. So it was very important because of the project we should meet and see the budget and see what we are paying and what is coming, how the work is done. So they had to come out because we could not go in.
And everything worked nicely. The reports were provided, the activities were carried out. And this is what we're looking at now today, in 2016, whether or not we can begin, because Mogadishu University has continued doing this work somehow, on their own means.
حتى نقاس لحظة لأنه ولي جامعة مقدشو حفيز كنا نوفرا ولي واشقينا حتى العقل الآن شقد اللي يسوون هسابتو جامعة مقدشو هاي هذين أنا كنا قصيصة عافيمات الصومالي ده أنا كنا قصيصة عارف أما أنا كمسؤول مساعد. The Mogadishu University says with or without money from Norway, this is our responsibility for our good health. And also waxayu gacan siinayaan waxa way dhaqan wax laga tagay yahay laakiin diin wax laga tagay ma aha. And this is what they say, tradition, we can live the tradition but we cannot live the religion. And so taas aawadeeda maaragtay nagu gacan siiyeen aad oo hadda shaqadii si fiican loo going again. Waan ku soconaa hadda waxaan ku soconaa. I think we are starting again in October.
So talk for the mics,
Thank you so much, Safia. I think you'll be helping still with the translation.
Yes.
So I have a difficult task. Maybe I'm now learning Norwegian. I think I should also learn Somali.
هذا أنا من بيبقى صباح يعني هذا واحد برنا في نوشكها هذا نقول ملا واحد لقينا من Somali نبرته.
I'm Roseanne Rajema from Kenya.
أنا بوحنا روزان رجيمة أو كينيا كسعودة.
I work here with the YMCA of Norway.
أنا بوحنا شقيا YWCA يو YMCA أو نوشكا.
So in Kenya I work with YWCA.
Kenya waxay u shaqeysaa YWCA
and we are here the three of us on FK exchange program for 1 year.
halkana waxaan u imaanay FK waxay Fred's Corps waxa way dad oo maaragtay u imaaday oo shaqooyin Fred Corps Soomaali waxaan u yiraahdaa Fred Corps yani peace volunteers dad amaan u yimid oo bilaash u shaqeeya.
So we are sent here from Kenya by FK to come and work on sexual reproductive health and rights program.
waxaana naga soo diray xaggaas inaan ka shaqeyno caafimaadka oo maaragtay sexual reproductive waxa weeye dhalmaha oo maaragtay dadku markuu badnaa yani habkii aan ku badnaa.
So I myself and Lilian, she will come later. We work with Y Global, that is Y the Fufu Fam. That's why the BCA,
Lilian, iyadu waxay shaqeysaa global waxa way KFUM oo iyaduna ay tahay YWCA ay ku xiran tahay laakiin tan nooshka oo global ah.
Yes, and we work together with Amateur where Safia works. So we work together with Safia and Asha.
marka nakun waxaan ka shaqeynaa Amateur oo ay tahay meesha Safia ay ka shaqeyso aniguna waxaan shaqeeyaa mashruucaas Amateur laakiin waxaan anigu ku leeyahay meesha caafimaadka dadka wadamada kale ka yimid.
So I want to really appreciate Mr. Michael for the work you are doing in Africa on FGM and maternal health care. And also appreciate Safia for connecting you to Africa.
And waxaan ugu mahadcelinayaa Michael oo maaragtay ka shaqeeya Africa iyo maaragtay bandhigay iyo hadana Safiana anigana aan xagga igu mahadcelinaysa.
Yeah, I also want to recognize the religious leaders from Somalia who are here with us to honor this function and come and attend. And also the mothers who are here, the young people and the fathers feel highly welcome.
haddana waxaan ugu mahadcelinayaa dadkii maaragtay meesha soo galay oo culumiinta ah oo maalinka maanta noo yimaaday oo la soo booqday oo anagana aan salaamay yani
So I will welcome Asha, and I think you are so happy to receive her because she's one of you. So she will speak in Somali.
Translation is over.
So thank you, Yeah, I understand because when you try to learn Norwegian and you know English and you know Kiswahili, and you have to forget something. So she's forgetting her Somali. Welcome, Asha.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Asha Ayan Alan. I'm from Kenya. My Somali is not so that perfect, so I cannot give the presentation I want to give in Somali. So you bear with me. Okay, I work with Amateur. As you can see the flip here. That shows the picture mostly of women and girls. That tells you much of what actually we are doing. We are dealing with women issues. Issues of counseling. We have psychologists. The psychologists are well qualified. So women who have issues on sexual reproductive health rights. They always come there for counseling and help. So they come for the advice, and then the solution comes from them and the decision comes from them, as they're having safe space with the counselors in their separate rooms. So for any woman out there, or the father today who's seated here, has a wife, has a daughter, it's always nice to know that Amateur is there for you. When you feel that you have a problem that you really need your daughter to come, and it's not easy for the daughter to come out and talk to you as a mother, as a daughter, as a father, Amateur has an open space whereby everybody is welcome, especially women with issues, because they have so much sensitive issues that they really need to discuss. So services are free, as Mom Safia is saying. No money needed. So pass the message over to everybody. And we also deal with issues of advocacy with FGM that I also work with Mom Safia. It has been an interesting work. For me, being a Somalian, despite I haven't been to Somalia, I have been to Kenya, but still the culture is still the same. We practice this, and it has been practiced back in our home. But I'm happy that For me, being part of a Somali girl that came to Norway and advocate on issue of FGM, it's...
And
sorry.
And waxaan ahay gabar Soomaaliyeed oo maxaa la dhaqankan waa dhaqan Soomaaliyeed aniga xataa Kenya ku dhalanay dhaqankan way soo martay waxaan anigu ku farxay yani shaqadan oo ka hortagida naafeynta xubinta taranka ee dumarka.
So changes come from within you.
Isbedelka anakeena inaga timaada.
For me, I brought a change from my younger sister.
anigu waxaan sameeyay oo la dagaalamay waa hortagida naafeynta xubinta taranka dumarka walaashay aniga igu xigtaa baan hooyo uga joojiyay.
I'm 5 years older than her.
anigu 5 sanadood baan ka weynaa walaashay.
So the time came when she was almost circumcised, but every weekend she used to get a little bit, every holiday she used to get sick. She has asthma.
markii waqtigeeda la gaaray oo la gudi rabay gabadha mar waliba way iska bugtay waxa xiiqda ku dhac jiray.
So that really helped her until the time she used to become sick most of the time, and then it reached the time she goes sick. I also grow up and get more information and more idea, and that is when they came.
xiiqdi markuu dhibdhibi jiray mar alaale markii la qabto la galay la gudo way bukoota anna markaas waa sii koray waxbarashadeedana way ku fiicnaaday waxbaan soo bartay oo soo bartay aad iyo aad.
So that is when the issues of FGM was like everywhere within Kenya, and I used to see it on TV and people advocating around.
marka waxaan anigu marka arkay hadana ka hortagida naafeynta xubinta taranka dumarka TV-yaashan ka fiirin jiray markaas waxyaalo waxbarasho badan baan soo gaaray.
So the time came when my sister was to be circumcised, but I really told my mom, like, I cannot go through whatever my younger sister went through because I never saw any benefit for it.
anigu ma jeclaan walaashay in iyaduna waxyaan la soo mariyay in iyaduna la soo mariyay sababtu wax faa'iido ay lahayd male.
So it has brought a change in my family, and I'm happy about it.
marka anigu family-gayga way ku farxday aan isbedel baa ku dhacday marka walaashay lama taaban taasna waan ku farxay.
I will have time for it. And the tagline at the end of all the family, no any other girl after me. No any other girl after me, and it will not happen. So it doesn't matter where I come, it's from my family or any other place, but I have to advocate for any woman out there. We have to fight for it, and changes has to come from our fathers, brothers, sisters, mothers, and everybody within the society.
marka isbedelka anaka ugu xiran tahay waa inaan ka hortagnaa oo mar waliba maaragtay aan ka wada hadalno oo maaragtay aan ka diidno inuusan maaragtay sii faafinin anaka.
So thank you so much, and that is all I have to offer. And welcome all of you. I'm happy to be with my Somalian community. It feels so nice today. So enjoy the evening.
As well, to be more precise, Central Kenya.
And anigu Lilia Banirada waxaan anu ka imid dhaxda Kenya yani precise Central Kenya.
Yes, I'm happy to be together with the three of them, Roseanne, Adhiambo, and Asha Ayan.
Ana ugu faraxsanahay gabdhahaasaan maaragtay
in the same exchange program where we are talking about sexual reproductive health and rights.
And barnaamijka oo maaragtay caafimaadka dhalmaha.
And our aim is to reach out to all decision makers.
Anna waxaan nahay inaan gaarno dadkii go'aan gaara.
And mostly the young people.
خصوص waxay intii oo maaragtay dhalinyarada ah oo kubaad soo koraya.
We know that every one person has a decision and can raise their voice.
anaguna waxaan ognahay yani qof waliba talo uu leeyahay oo taladiisu la socda.
And any one person can change one person's destiny.
qofkii waa qofka kale uu ku bedeli karo taladiisa.
And we believe that I believe that I can change that by speaking and raising my voice.
qofka bedeli kara.
And I believe you can too.
adna waxaan ogaadna waa bedeli kartaa.
And when I say you too,
waa bedeli kartaa.
I say each and every one of you.
ani markaan adiga ku ilaabo anaka qof waliba waxaan ka hadlaynaa qofkii wax bedeli kara.
Yeah,
qof waliba qofkii kale uu bedeli kara.
I have a
fikirkiisa iyo talada.
I have 2 slides of a video.
ani waxaan haystaa
Just
video.
just watch. One is from a young person speaking about her experience about FGM.
qof oo gabar baa maaragtay halka ka hadli doonta xooga.
And one is from a program officer from Kenya, YWCA.
qofkii dambe ninka kale hadli doona waa ninkii xukuma gudoomiyaha oo YWCA ah.
Yeah, speaking about why is it important for YWCA to engage people in stopping FGM.
muhiimka oo maaragtay lagala hadlayo oo ka hortagida naafeynta xubinta taranka.
When we speak about FGM, we do not attack any culture.
markaan ka hadalno naafeynta xubinta taranka dumarka kama hadalno yani dhaqan oo xumaanka uguma tegeno.
Yeah, we appreciate every culture because it's the culture that brings us together. Our diversity, even amongst our exchange.
وين بارو قبنا دقمها كلي دقمها هنا احترام بارو قبنا.
We learn from one another and it's very beautiful. So when we watch this from a point of view, from a change maker's mindset, right? And let's see how we can change the story. Yeah, and let's see how we can change the story for other people by putting ourselves in their shoes.
marka aniguna waxaan marka fiirisaan marka ka fikir adiga sidee qofka kale fikirkiisa u bedeli kartaa ama caafimaadkiisa yani wax isaga u fiican.
First, I lost a lot of blood and it was very humiliating. And it is not good to do that since that makes somebody feel isolated. I felt isolated with others since my friends were not circumcised. And I was forced to, so my friends used to laugh at me, but what I would like to say is very humiliating and tell others, don't do it. There's another good way, there's another legal way of doing it, alternative rate of passage.
Of the things that we do, the idea behind what we do. At the end of the day, when we look at FGM, it's not about legislation, right? It's a mark of maturity, right?
And idea that can naafeynta xubinta taranka marka laga hadlayo waa maxay waa qaangaarka miya.
So we as YWCA Kenya, we as African Alliance of YMCA, we as Amateur, we as the many voices out there that stop FGM, we advocate for an alternative rite of passage.
anigu waxaan jeclaan lahayn yani qaangaarka aad iyo aad baa loo rabaa in qofkii maaragtay markuu koro oo gabar noqdo ama martabaan waxaa jira qaangaar oo maaragtay mar waliba qofkii la dhahayo qofkaan markuu qaangaar waa in la gudaa intaan maaragtay iska tuurin dhaqankaas hala wado. laakiin
I'll tell you my initiation story.
laakiin anigu waxaan jeclaan lahayn inaan idiin sheego aniga shakhsi ahaan maxaan soo maray.
When I finished my class 8, of course we had to mark that I am now mature and I'm ready to go to secondary school. And I was getting to a new level of life, of maturity. So I went to a 10 days camp. And we were both boys and girls. And in the first week we were taught different things. We received different kinds of coaches and teachers. They taught us about self-esteem, identity, and all this sex education. Yeah, all these different life topics. And in our last week, the boys got circumcised. They were separated from the girls. In the same camp, girls separated, boys separated, and we would not see the boys at all, yet we were in the same camp.
markaas markii isticmaalkii ugu dambeysay markii isla markii waxa laga dhex saaray wiilasha weligeed maan arkin.
So we only met because we were told that we could not even come close to them because they were in so much pain, and we stayed for a whole time and we waited for them to heal all those days.
mar waan sugayna ilaa maartay ay ku bogsado xaga lama arki karo yani xanuun badan ba maartay lagu hayay.
And on the last day we came together back again to say goodbye and go home.
markii ugu dambeysay markaas aan isku
So the good thing is they did not circumcise the girls.
muhiim waxa ahayd gabdhihi laga guday wiilasha kaliya.
But did we get initiated into maturity?
marka ma waxaas wuxuuna siiyay yani qaangaar oo tusaal ah inaan nahay gabdho oo hadda gabdho qowlan koray.
We still were initiated to maturity. I think I'm mature and I think I understand different concepts.
أنا waxaan fikirayaa oo arkaya yani waxaan ahay qof koray qaangaar kiwaan dhaafay yani qof weyn inaan nahay oo wax soo bartay.
So the goal was achieved.
waxay ahaataba one gari يعني حكي لي قرب هنا نقول قبل.
So many girls out there undergo female genital mutilation and they are violated because it's done against their rights.
marka dumarka zaid oo maartay la marsiina gudniinka waxa way xaqooda aan la jabiyay oo maartay oo loo geystay wax aanan jirin.
Whatever the experience, whether some were happy because they were excited over this thing that is always celebrated, this cultural practice that everybody is, or whether they were scared because they did not know what they were experiencing.
وحوي أنا راح يتحدث يعني قفكي حتى يعني حنون بدل يروحوا جلا يعني دبعته حنا نجري حنون كل ما دبعتين بدل.
It is still an act of violence.
وعارف يسمى في عنان أو أي تهاي أن حقوق بين آدم كالجبي.
It's a violation.
دبعت يعني حقوق.
And sometimes our culture can be something to take us forward, and sometimes it can bring us back, and sometimes we just. And it is a practice. And sometimes you just need to stop and just say this practice has been going on. And I stand on the forefront, you as an individual can say this has been happening, maybe it's been happening in Norway, maybe you're thinking that that will happen to someone back there, but you can raise your voice. And say and say like my friend Ayan, I know I have a nice friend in her, and I know she said that it stops with her. And even in this generation, it can stop with us. And that is men saying no, that their girls will not be circumcised. And that is for women saying that despite all the ways that they will experience discrimination, that even though that will still not happen. And that is for sisters and brothers saying that my sister, my brother will not experience the same pain that I felt. So I think it all rests on us. I come from the African Alliance of YMCA in Africa, and we have a philosophy called subject to citizen, where we are told to raise our voice, and now I'm raising my voice. And I call all of us to raise our voice and say no to FGM. Can end female genital mutilation. One person can change a life, and that person is you and me, and together let's stop FGM. Thank you.
And hadda anigu sidaan ku bilaabay waxay ahayd habkii oo maaragtay official oo aan rabay in la ogaado yani dadkii la socday.
السلام عليكم السلام يا
كيف وعليكم السلام. She says hello to all of you.
waxaan mahad u celinayaa dadkaan laga soo qayb galay.
She thanks to people who are with us.
Sida noogu sharaxeen sida wanaagsan ee loo qabtay waad ku mahadsantihiin dhammaantiin. waxaan mahad kale u celinayaa dadkayga soo fadhiista meesha.
Also thanking our people who are here.
kulligiin waa mahadsantihiin kaliya laab soo dhawaada.
Thank you so much and welcome.
Safia waa u mahad celinayaa meesha.
And I thank Safia, my sister.
waa u mahad celinayaa iyadana sharafteena oo qaabishay iyo sidaan annagana ugu nimid walaaltinimada leh. إن شاء الله وحنا رجينا يا مرة بعد مرسد حالي مرة أفراد بنا سوي معنا.
She's thanking us for bringing us together, and we hope that this is not the first and not the last. We have to continue.
قفل بروف كيس أحكي وين أنا معنا ماشي جوزي.
And so thank you so much.
Because so قدومي وسوي.
وعلى حتى and أروح تأدوا أدي بنات رمان إن أمانة and سيف عن شو برانو. And I'm saying this my uncles, my aunties, the children of aunties too and cousins too. I would like to know you much more today. But I think we have to take them first and then if there's something else.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. عيد مبارك.
عيد مبارك.
I welcome community from YWCA and on behalf of our community Somali, behalf of our people, behalf of our community, Minimum Community Foundation. أهلا وسهلا عليكم أوركيجا iyo jaaliyada
Afsoomaali ku
Okay, that's best. aad baa mahadsantihiin aniga inaan inta istaagmo madnin laakiin ururka wada joogo gudoomiyaha afyaanka xubnaha kale ururka inkastoo aan ka imaaday gadaal waqtigan cariibi oo ahaaye waxaa lii wakiishay oo ii garteen ururka inaan inta istaago هذا يكون بدنا كل وقت وعنفذنا وسود وده هاي مركلة إيو مركحات أربعة ومحسنته أنا جانس كأننا كفاية سنو أورر بانلين هاي مع مسافرين هاي ومحسنت هاي أيدي إيو تيم كذا كل تيم والبو شقيا أنا كنا تيم بعمل كودنا إنك استولوا نتقابل نفها تمر كان كجرين لكن أنا كنا نحاول نعمل بعدين تا قوت كألنا عيو سنجريجا عصب أو وقتها سوسعود. من community نحاول أساسي لو يكون يو كوي توانكي بشي أكتوبر almost 4 years هتشعكا. من community هدان تابتو حقوق كذا وحان تابني إلى يو جيس كصوماليا وحان عاونا عروض isugu jirto agooman iyo kuwo duruufsan oo tabartooda aan awoodin iskuulka iyo waxbarashada iyo hanka dadka dhaqaalaha leh alxamdulillah waqtiyada ugu dambeysay ramadaan baan soonnay waxyaabaan ku taableen waxaa ka mid ah ciid alfatriga kitaab sakada aan aroorinay waan gudbinay waan ku ciidsiinay last year sidoo kale mid la mid ah Minimum community ilaa iyo waxaan laga caawiyaa meelo badan hadday noqoto gudaha Norway hadday noqoto dibadda Norway sida Scandinavianka walaalaha kale Yurubta kale ilaa iyo North America waa cusubnahay runtii waxaan ahnay dad dhalinyaro isugu jiro cuqaal culummo dhalinyaro dumar kulli inshaa'abtana way joogtaa way fadhidaa Minimum community markaan usii dhaadhaco waa dad loogu talagalay macnaha community-ga inkastoo dad badan nala joogaan laakiin dad family ah waay laakiin worldwide ka shaqeysaa meel walba ka shaqeysaa wax badan qaadataa dadka aan caawinana waa dad walaalaheen ah oo dhibaataysan oo duruufsan alxamdulillah mar kale iyo mar saddexaad Mama Safia ayaan waxaa ogeysiinayaa maadaama aan akhbaarteeda nala soo gudbiyo qof experience u leh in ururada ka jira Norway lana tacaamusho xagga dowladda annagana aan ahnay youth dad hadda soo baxaayo oo ku cusub wadada marka wadada haddaan lagu xarxaarin ama laga hagaajinin way adag tahay sida ku baasto ururkeena iyo tiimkeyga waxaan ka codsanayaa inaan maamada la shaqeyno aanan soo dhaweyno gacmahana ku soo dhaweyno
waxaan ku salaamayaa salaanta islaamka assalaamu calaykum waraxmatullaahi wabarakaatu bacdi salaam waxaan aad ugu celinayaa walaashay Safia dadaalka ay muujisay waxqabadka ay muujisay iyo sida sharafta leh ay maanta dadkeeda walaalaheed iyo Soomaalida dhammaan meeshaas ugu timid ay u soo dhaweysay xafladda qiimaha iyo qayaale ay u samaysay waxaan rajeynayaa midnaan iyo mid lamida iyo mid kuwo kale kasii badan inay noo samayn doonto hadduu ilaahay idmo hadalku anigu kuma sii dheeraanayo waxaan u malay wax yar oo ay sheegayaan baan ku darayaa sida uu ka dhawaajiyey walaalkay Maxamed Cabdinaasir oo ka ah xubinka ururka midnimo community waxaan fadhiya meesha aan ka qalan baa fadhiya dumar baa fadhiya yani howlo fara badan kasoo qabtay ururkaas midnimo community waxaan rajeynaynaa hadduu ilaahay idmo waqtiyo fara badan oo waxaan soo marnay kala duwan waqtiyaan yani aan kufnay waan yani waa istaagnay waa caqabado fara badan baa inoo yimid biidni illah waxaan rajeynaynaa kama fursanayno hadduu ilaahay idmo ilaa yani shay hadafka ururka uu leeyahay oo ah caawimaadka dadka walaalaheena agoonta iyo dadka dhibaataysan Afrika meel walba ay ka joogaan oo ku aftirsada qaasatan anigu yani shakhsiyan nin bulshada baan ahay dadka badanaa yani waxay u yaqaanaan bulshada ahay nin yani shay aan qaabin iyo waxaas ka hadlaan ahay laakiin waxaan dareemayaa in kaamir maanta meesha ka muuqdo laakiin kama xishoonayo kamana baqayo midnimada dalkayga waa mid qasab mar walba oo ah فائدة وجدها وعمل فائدة وجدها أنا إذا طبق هي يكون قدرات ما قصاص يتحي وعن الجين يا رجل إن شاء الله إلا يوضع شقايا من دمدا طمع ولا ضمان صدق ولا الله اللي واسع أرونا هذا ترى وحوي سنة هذا رجل هاي النص وعن هذا كي يسوق بيها من دمدا ترى والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
أنا لما كنت أنا ملك أسبح كنت أنا ملك لما هالك دقيقة من ده واحد دقيقة يقول halka waxaa degan Nasra Naisuleha iyo ayaan marka gabar yar oo ayayo aan ahayd oo leena Nuurul baa halka degan waxaan la kulmay gabar iyada la shaqeysan maal ogeen waa la tagay gabadhan si bal eeg walaal oo ay tahay Roda I would like also to say that I need to know my family and I need my family to know me. I have 3 children, 3 daughters. 2 stay here in Oslo and 1 stays in Northern Norway. I also have a grandchild. I took my grandchild to the kindergarten, and my cousin sister took my child from me, but I didn't know her. So it is still. So I'm very happy to be here. waxaway maanta sidaan u hadli jiray maanta waxaway aad ba maartay qalbigayga culus iyo waan dareemaa yani waxaan weli sameeyay maraan I know the worst part of this waa markaan aanu ka imid Oslo waxaa la yidhi Ulstenvik waa meel magaalo halkaas maan ogeen in eedadayna meesha timid iyo inaan labada isqabo habar wadaag waaye maan ogeen meesha baan tegay waxaan arkay gabar oo soo ordaysa iyadoo oynayso way ii timid way qabatay waxay ku tiri Safia anigu waxaan ahay mahado waxaan i dhashay eedada culumo waan nahay habeenkaas barnaamijku waa wadi kari waaye I went to Ulstenvik. I asked me to go and give a representation. I didn't know that my first cousins were here in Kenya, in Ulstenvik. But she saw the name Safia Abdi and she had heard about me. And I was going to give my speech. I see a woman running, crying and coming to me and telling me, Safia, I'm the daughter of Olumo Abdi. I just had to cry. I couldn't give the speech that evening. It was very strong for me. And also knowing that she's my first cousin and I didn't know she was in Norway. That's our and we have to meet. And then also when my sister's husband died, that is when I also knew that I have my sisters and brothers in Norway and my uncles and my aunties. maalintii ninka shugri markuu geeriyooday oo shaqaasho dhan isku timaaday oo meeshaasaan ku kulan markaasaan ogaaday in dad baa ii joogay markaasaan leeyahay hadda ka dambeeya waa inaan kulan samaysano oo mar waliba aan wada kulanno. Rosanna waxay rabtay inay hadal yar ku kordhiso ma ugu sheegin.
I see people are so hungry, but food is ready. I just wanted to tell you briefly on our project and also invite you on the problem.
وإذا جاء تطبعاً أو أطبعاً من الجروح انتظروا ويسودوا هاي مركباتي رينا تطبعاً.
The project on sexual reproductive health and rights, which we are doing here in Norway.
Program كأن كهذا أو واحد مسمينا إنه نور قاصداً إنه إحنا كشيء.
We are helping the young people to be empowered to make good decisions when it comes to their sexual activities.
وحنعاوننا المهايريات أو كنور ملهان وحنسمينا إننا تحيي activate أما عيار أما عيار كالدوان.
We talk about contraceptives.
وحنكهذنا سويدار سجى.
We talk about maternal health care.
وحنكهذنا سيدا مرشحة.
We talk about FGM that Lilian has already spoken about. We talk about healthy relationships, like young people, they can have relationships with other people but be in a healthy relationships. How do they relate with each other? We talk about body image. Some people do not like the way they look, so they will just be so much discouraged all the time. We talk to them that be who you are, stand firm as a young person, and just appreciate who you are.
waxaan kaloo ka hadalnay dadka inayna cabsanin qofka uu soo daago inuu ka farxo sida uu yahay.
We talk about sexually transmitted diseases.
waxaan kaloo ka hadalnay macnaha nolosha labada qofood dumar lada gidid noloshooda sidee tahay.
In Norway, chlamydia is leading amongst the young people.
Norway chlamydia.
It's a disease, sexually transmitted disease.
Sorry, karam noqda. Marka Norway waxay ka hadashaa cudur oo disease jirka galo. Maana jirka badan bini'aadam ku dhaco. Marka ayadana waa ka hortagna.
So we encourage young people to go for health centers for checkups just to find out if they are sick so that they can be treated and not to transfer the disease to somebody else or get from somebody else.
cudurkaas qaasatan ilmaha inaan haddaan ku aragno ama ka shakiso goobaha caafimaadka ama goobaha gargaarka inaan ula orodno iyo inaan isku baasin qof kale jirkiisa uusan gaarin.
We also provide a safe space where they can come together and talk without fearing that their parents are listening to their secrets or maybe somebody is hearing what they are expressing. So it's just offering a space for young people to come and be open.
qof walbo inuusan cudurkaas markuu arko oo kala hadlaa ama waalidkiisa uusan ka xishoonin haday caruur yihiin haday qof yihiin isdhexgal waalid inay ka shakeystaan hadduu cudurku jiro si looga hortago.
On 26th of August this year, we are going to have an event here for young people. And we are going to have a fashion show. And we are going to display different African cultures in terms of dressing. So I'm saying this because the chairman of the great community for the Somalians are here and other leaders. You can ask your young people to come.